How much longer can this shit go on for, man? When will Father Time finally catch up to Bernard Hopkins? Are we going to be here in another 10 years' time seeing Bernard Hopkins school another young, undefeated champion? I mean, that might sound like a crazy question, but if I asked that question 10 years ago, it would have sounded crazy as well. Bernard Hopkins is damn near 50 years old, and he's just won another title with another convincing victory over Tavoris Cloud, a guy who, how many years younger is he than Hopkins? A lot younger. I'm not going to do the math right now, but he's a hell of a lot younger than Hopkins. All right. How the hell is this guy able to do this stuff, man? You know, I made a video about Floyd Mayweather against Robert Guerrero a couple weeks ago. My thoughts on that fight, and someone in the comment section asked me, I think they asked me who I thought was the greatest fighter of all time or something like that. You know, you could go to the video and see it for yourself. But basically, I'll answer this question by saying I can't say who's the greatest of all time, but I can tell you who I think is the top 5 fighters of the last 25 or 30 years. Right? And I said this a couple weeks ago. The top 5 fighters, me personally, my personal list, the top 5 fighters of the past, 25 to 30 years, Bernard Hopkins is in that top 5. Yeah? Bernard Hopkins is in that top 5. No one has ever beat Bernard Hopkins convincingly. The only person to ever do it was Roy Jones Jr. when they were both young and, they were both kind of green fighters back then. They were both just young kids. Neither of them had really learned their craft the way that they went on to. So, that was, don't get me wrong, is a good win for Roy Jones Jr. You can't take no credit away from him. He wasn't in his prime either when he fought Hopkins. But Hopkins hadn't gone on to become who we know him as now at the time when he lost to Roy Jones Jr. So apart from that, no one has ever really beat this guy convincingly. I mean, even the Chad Dawson fight, it was a close fight, man. You couldn't have argued too much if they gave it to Hopkins. You know what I mean? Like, it's that kind of fight. So, this guy Hopkins, the things that he's done in boxing is incredible. And here's the thing, I'm not even a Hopkins fan. Right? I've never been a Hopkins fan. I've never been a fan of, in terms of, his style in the ring. His style is very effective. But in terms of providing entertainment, I don't think it's a very entertaining boxing style. All right? So I've never really been a fan of his style in the ring. But I respect it. And I recognize it for what it is, which is genius. He's a master at work. We'll probably never see the likes of Bernard Hopkins again in the game. What he's doing right now is history. He's broke his own record for becoming the oldest champion in the history of boxing for a second time. All right, the guy he's an incredible fighter, and in terms of legacy and resume, the only guy in boxing who's active in boxing at the moment whose resume is on the same level as Bernard Hopkins is Roy Jones Jr. Apart from Roy Jones Jr., there is no one in the game today whose resume is on the same level as Bernard Hopkins. I don't care what no one says, right? Because people are just being fanboys. If you actually look at this shit objectively and seriously, I mean, look at the shit Hopkins, he was middleweight champion forever, right back in the 90s. He already established himself as one of the greatest middleweights of all time, right? And then he started stepping up in weight, taking on these younger champions. Obviously, he won the middleweight tournament as well. He's just done incredible thing after incredible thing after incredible thing. You get what I'm saying? And this guy's like, what is he, 60, 70 years old now? You know what I mean? 700 years old. Fuck it. You get me? The guy's older than the damn pyramids, man. He's like 5,000, 10, 20,000 years old. Hopkins was around like in the time of Jesus and shit. That's how old this guy is. And he's still taking on young lions, strong kids, and he's beating them. How the fuck he's doing this, who knows, man. But, he's doing it, and you got to give credit where credit's due. Whether you're a fan of him or not, you can't deny the facts. Who the hell in boxing has had the longevity that Bernard Hopkins has shown? And that's part of being a great, is longevity. Right? Some fighters are great for a short space of time, or very good for a short space of time, and then after that, it's like they can't really adapt, they can't really move with the times, they can't change their style. You get what I'm saying? But Hopkins could. A good example is like Mike Tyson. Tyson was good in the mid to late 80s. After that, what happened to him? Everyone was beating him then. You understand? But Hopkins has got that longevity. So to me, definitely one of the top 5, greatest fighters of the past 25, 30 years. And I'm sure people want to know who else is on that list, right? The other fighters on that list is Sugar Ray Leonard, Ricardo Lopez, Roberto Duran, and Roy Jones Jr. That's my top 5 fighters of the past 25, 30 years. I'm sure that's going to be controversial, man. But yeah, it is what it is. So Hopkins defeats Cloud. He's now light heavyweight champion once more. He's not going to fight Andre Ward, obviously. Them two are very, they're good friends. They respect each other. And Ward himself has said he will never fight Hopkins. That it's like a master-student type of situation there. Whatever, that's cool. They're in different weight divisions anyway. So, it is what it is. We don't really want to see Hopkins fight Dawson again. So, where should Hopkins go from here? We just have to wait and see. Can he make middleweight again? Can he make super middleweight? What about Hopkins against, maybe Frutch or someone like that? Maybe if Ward moves up, Hopkins moves down. You know what I mean? Cleverly, I know Cleverly's been saying he wants to fight Hopkins, but who knows, man. So yeah, man, hit me up in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this. Where do you place Bernard Hopkins in terms of being an all-time great? Me, I place him very highly. And like I keep saying, in the last 25, 30 years, this guy is in the top 5 for me. You know what I mean? Incredible. And like I say, I ain't even really a Hopkins fan. You know what I mean? But I have to give credit where credit is due. Whether I like someone's style or not is irrelevant. Yeah, people seem to get confused when I say I like this fighter or I don't like that fighter. I'm not saying that guy is not good. I'm just talking about whether or not I enjoy watching them in the ring. There's a lot of fighters out there who are tremendous fighters in terms of, their success, but I may not necessarily like them, the way they fight in the ring, or might not even like them as people in terms of their personality. But I respect what they do. And Hopkins is one of those guys, man. I respect what he does. Can't say nothing about him. You know what I mean? Can't say nothing about what he does in the ring, man. I know he's dirty and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I don't really like that. But, it is what it is, man. He schooled Cloud in there, man. So, yeah, props to Hopkins. And hit me up in the comment section. I'm out.